back.
Yes.
Alright, so sci-fi often inspires technologists and designers. Not counting video games and Winter Olympics, have you guys ever been in a situation where you're like, holy cow moment, this gadget or this fashion reminds me of Tron or Batman?
What's some of the hairstyles of Babylon 5? So many things.
Anytime I put on tights outside of Tron, that's really personal information. I'd rather not talk about it. It happened plenty, but I'd rather not.
They're not called tights anymore, sir. They're called specs. That's as close as we get. I don't know.
Not really for me.
No, you see some things though in our life today that you go, they're kind of like Tron.
What I do in the privacy of my own home in my bedroom is my business. Okay?
What?
What I do in the privacy of my own home in my bedroom is my business.
I'm not quite sure I know what you're asking. Is that, do you think there are things that in our daily lives today that we see and use that, I think our handheld computer devices and stuff like that are very Tron sort of oriented.
Definitely that, but one thing that really stands out for me is like in the mid-90s there was a craze to have neon lights on your car.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I said, holy crap, that is Tron.
Yeah. I can see that. I'm glad that went away. No. I don't know, a Prius kind of looks like a light cycle. I don't know. It doesn't quite move as fast and have the turning capabilities. All that light cycle was for us there. I think it was great in Tron Legacy. I walked out on they had Tron City out there built. That was big in Tron Legacy. We had big practical sets. So much I think people still think it's all CGI. No, they built these massive sets out there in a place called Burnaby outside of downtown Vancouver. And Tron City was a full city built out there. The exterior of Flynn's Arcade was half built and the rest was CGI. They had the whole interior of Legacy. They recreated that sloppy old dirty building in downtown Culver City. They built it, it was amazing to walk in there. They got all those games again. There was Flynn's little apartment above the thing, and it's like I'd stand there by myself for a few minutes and look, and I think, and to see those blinds go up, and there's young Jeff Bridges looking up. Sorry.
Right.
But the old light cycle, was nothing but a stick about that high with a crossbar.
Is that right?
Yeah. The original one. Yeah. We stood there, and it stood straight up like this, and then we went, zoom!
Isn't that cool? Wow.
That was high tech, man. And months later, I saw this orange thing come over me, and suddenly I was going. And it was so awkward to be standing in that position doing your dialogue. Red 1 doing blue 2, or whatever it was.
I still talk to Dan Shore, by the way, once in a while.
Dan Shore playing Ram. Yeah. Me too. He was in the special features we did for Legacy. I don't want to tell you that, Peter. You're going to get mad at me. You should have been in that too.
Yeah.
And Danny was very excited. He's like an acting teacher in New York. Yeah. And we did this special features thing. It's like continuing the story on, if you saw that in Legacy. I'm on DVD or Blu-ray.
I cast him in a play that I was directing. That's how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was at a party at a friend of his house. That's how I met this person, at a party. The old Hollywood way. He came up to me during the party and said, "We're making a movie. Would you like to be in the movie?" I'm sure God. Okay, yeah, I'll be in the movie. I was really little.
Then we wound up in Babylon 5.
There's a question way in the back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is your favorite and least favorite moment on set?
In Tron?
I never had that moment other than in the rehearsals and trying to kill me. But making of the movie was long. I hurt myself. That's my worst one. I injured myself in doing the stunt. When Yori and I come sliding down this thing, the recognizers, Jason, were sliding down. I said, no, I can do this. It's my own fault. So I never, always rely on the stunt people. They take the falls for you. They make it look better than you're ever going to make yourself. And I let them do it. It's their paycheck. But no, old Bruce here, you know, I can do it. Simple. I slid down this thing and I hit the cement floor. I did a shoulder roll and came up, and my shoulder was ripped right out. I hurt myself so badly. And I got my way through it. And I said, Dior, are you all right? She should have said, are you all right? I was dying inside. And then I had to take me to the hospital after we shot finished. And I had really damaged myself. I had acupuncture for you. No, they kept going. They just shot some other things, and I just I had doctors working on me and everything, and they had to get me through it. So I did. But that was my worst one. It was just really painful. But the rest of it was an absolute joy. It really was. When we were up at Lawrence Livermore Laboratories, you know, only Walt Disney at the time could get permission by the United States government to shoot in the most top secret nuclear laboratory, where bombs were made, where everything was made. And there were these strange people in white long lab coats, long hair, beards. They were as white as this table. They lived underground, because Livermore is all underground. And they used to say, it is too. Lawrence Livermore Laboratories is underground. It should be. Have you heard of it? God almighty, what a dumb.
It was a long time ago. We're allowed to make stuff up. You don't have to tell the truth.
This is a panel. We're not telling the truth here.
This goes under the general category of total recall.
I believe in the thing. Thank you, Brian. That never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Come on. But we did. We shot down there, and only Mickey Mouse could shoot in the top secret laboratories, and that's where that whole big, in the original Tron, the big laser thing where Jeff gets beamed into the game. That was Shiva, it was called, the goddess of creation and destruction. And that whole room, that gigantic room, was one laser. Massive thing we shot there, and shows you the power of how important Disney was. They had permission to shoot there. And that big door that opened, we're standing outside, that big door. See how thick that thing was? Yeah. That's in case the place blew up. You know what I mean? We were slowly indicating, yes, there was nuclear bombs in this damn place being developed. Nuclear technology, and that door was outside, and they had spilled some nuclear stuff, and they had these roped off areas around it on the pavement saying, caution nuclear spillage. And our crew was dragging cables through it. We had to wear these little bunny shoes. Every room you went to had to take off these little plastic things and put on these other new booties to go into the next room. It was really interesting. And they said there were Russian spies parked outside offering anybody money for information. I said, you know that? Oh yeah, there's Boris over there, Yuri's over there. They ask us every day, when we come out. It was just common knowledge. But you really believe all that? Anyway, I didn't believe it at the time either, but so.
Any more questions?
It's really degenerated here, hasn't it?